Hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and today we talk sausage. Or more specifically, we're going to talk tabletop role-playing games and its relationship to sausage. Okay, maybe that's wrong. I often use the analogy of making sausage when it comes to tabletop role-playing games. And I thought I would do an episode about making sausage. Okay, maybe that's wrong. Sometimes we, in the tabletop role-playing community, and world builders in general, even if you're not into gaming, but you love world building, there is this how it's made phase when you seek to explain it to others. And that can be a little bit strange. So today we're going to talk about why I use that analogy. And I have next to me, my hand is sitting on a stack of books that exemplify the idea of sausage making. But also I thought we would get a little deeper into why that analogy even exists and how it fits into the tabletop role-playing community. And I feel like sometimes our disgust or enticement to certain games has something to do with how the sausage is made. So we're going to talk about from the world building aspect to inviting your players into the game to literally sitting down and playing the game. Why is it some things are like it's like, wow, it's just blowing your mind, and yet at the same time a similar game you go, it's something's rubbing me the wrong way. And I thought maybe part of that is that we're using the wrong words or analogies to describe a thing, and maybe it's how the sausage is made. Anyway, we do have an intro, and that gives us the opportunity to put our feet up, get our snacks, get some kind of ignition element to ignite our mind fuel and get into this strange, meaty topic of how the sausage is made. Pretty epic music. I love it. So what do I mean by how the sausage is made when it comes to tabletop role-playing games? Very generally, what I mean is that sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't want to know how the thing is made or constructed or put together. The idea of knowing how the sausage is made, and I was going to share a YouTube video, and a lot of them are, I don't think it's appropriate, not safe for work kind of stuff. I'll get dinged on it. So, but the idea is that we can enjoy a meal and enjoy its preparation, its display in front of us before we consume it. And what the heck is going on here? Why am I not? I can't see. Wow, I can't see my own. I can't see the actual. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to YouTube or something like that and pull it out. I don't know what's going on. Come on, let me see my own comments. That is really weird. That is the strangest thing I've ever seen. But okay. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Okay, Spook says everyone wants to know how the sausage is made until they learn how the sausage is made. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And for some reason, it's not showing up on my chat window. Come on, Restream, work with me here. Work with me. I mean, it's visually showing up, but I'm not getting come on. All right, well, I'm gonna have to, here we go. Let's go over to YouTube. Let's pull the chat out. I don't understand. Pay good money for this too. Well, I pay money for this. It should be good. Live chat pop out. Here we go. And let's turn this off. There we go. All right, that's a bit better. Yeah, a little bit better. Mike says, it's the sausage making or the concept of it that's behind why more players won't take up the mantle of GM. Yep. Yeah, they want to play the game, not the prep. And that's my point, right? Like and there's there's nuance to this, okay? But there's a lot of little like how the sausage is made kind of thing, like the behind the scenes things that go on. And I wonder if our perception of the thing is affecting it, not the thing. Okay, so what I mean by that is there are some excellent games out there. You guys know I'm a polygamist, right? I cheat on every game that exists out there. I've got a stack of them next to me that I would like to introduce to people, like Shotgun at You. Maybe I might put links to them, but I think you guys will find it out. Great title, looks like it should be right up my alley. Yeah, and listen, you know, there are many of us that enjoy. Let's go with fast food, right? Here in the States, we love our fast food places, and we buy burgers and chicken, processed chicken and meats and things. But if you really thought about it, right, we would think like, how did they make this hamburger? How did they make this chicken? Chicken nuggets, do they come out the chicken like that? Not at all. And I think sometimes in tabletop role-playing games, and this is coming up because as very popular games are released, Daggerheart being one of them, that I happen to like the game. It's a little bit gamey for me. It's got fibers in it on the player side that kind of rub me the wrong way a little bit, but I'm a fan of the game. I really am. But the game very much presents itself as, hey players, hey GM, I'm going to show you how the sausage is made. And I wonder if it's rubbing people the wrong way, and are games being cast aside or being loved not because of how it's designed, not because of the creators, not because of the setting, not because of the dice that are used or the math involved in it, or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe it's the uncanny valley of your nose turns up a little bit, because before the great delicious meal is presented for you, in our minds we're going, I don't like how this is. There's pieces and chunks, and it's like ground together, and it's showing me how it's done, and it's like, and it's just giving me these weird, crazy vibes of like the behind the scenes look at a movie or a play or a television show, and then when you see it, it's like you can't unsee it. And I think that applies to the tabletop role-playing version of it. Shai says, I saw a lot of sausage when I was proofreading the saga book for Within the Ring of Fire. I was going to bring that book out too. I was going to talk about, one of my goals was to present to you some role-playing books and actually go, like, not discuss how do you play the game or whatever, but like, what is it about this game that makes it a great game? Like, is it the setting? Is it, how things are made in it? And yeah, Within the Ring of Fire, there's a lot of stuff in that game, as well as many other games that go like, you should check this out because this part of the game is brilliant, and I like it. Okay, so one thing I'm going to bring up, because there's a lot of games here that I have next to me, and I decided to bring out the physical copy of them. And we can go down a rabbit hole of different ways sausage is made, but I'd like to bring up one aspect of sausage making in tabletop role-playing games that I think sometimes has the uncanny valley effect on players that they don't even realize it. And one of those is the pre-existence of a thing in a game that did not exist before, and how our minds and creativity insert a time schedule involved in it. That sounds complicated, so let me explain even further. Something in a game does not exist, and then through conversation, something now does exist. Do we subconsciously have a time scale in terms of its non-existence to existence and whether we think that's relevant? Let me give you an example. A mountain range did not exist in the game, but now there suddenly is a mountain range on the map somewhere in the game filled with a culture and whatever, people that live there, and there's monsters or mysteries or whatever. Does it matter to you that this mountain range never existed and now does within seconds, minutes, hours, days, years? When we buy let me grab a random tabletop role-playing game. This is called a Substratum Protocol. And while this is a fully fleshed out tabletop role-playing game, this role-playing game has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a hard copy. There's a little tag in here, and it presents a mystery for the game. The problem is, not problem, there's an issue with mystery games where if you just read the book and solve the mystery is gone. So it uses a unique thing of having random tables to generate the mystery. Does it matter to you that if you were to play this game is a solo plus game. So you could play this game, Substratum Protocol. It's about saving the world because of the mystery that's happening in the core of the Earth, and you are to travel down in it. And in this regard, the book does not have the mystery answer. You have to discover the mystery through the random tables. Does it, because the book doesn't actually have the answer, does that bother anyone? And is it because it's presented in a random table? What would it be better if the maker of this role-playing game created the answer 5 years ago, and now you know that there's an answer to this game, right? It is in many ways, it is the quantum ogering of information. And this is just one version of the sausage making. Is it the quantum ogering of the thing that, hey guys, none of us knew there was a mountain range, and suddenly we're talking about going to a portion of the map that was never explored, and we collectively create this map of this mystery mountain, or the GM goes aside and goes, guys, I hadn't even prepped this yet, and then goes to make, does it matter? And I think sometimes that's some players take that to heart. They're like, well, you didn't prep the game correctly. What if they did it 3 days ago, or 3 hours ago, or 3 months ago? Does that make a difference if the outcome is exactly the same? Yeah. Mike says it's the sausage making or the concept of it that's behind why players won't take up the mantle of GM, and I definitely agree. They want the game, not the prep part of it. Yeah. Mike goes on to say, trying to learn Destiny meant that I had to deconstruct CGL sausage and add or remove my own ingredients in order to make the recipe edible. Wow. Yeah. Or in a non-food way, make the game playable. CGL needs a better editing team. Wow. Did not know that. Spook says that mountain always existed in the world. It just didn't matter to the players, or they did not know about it, just like everything before the English set sail many years ago. Right. And see, for me, it doesn't bother me that if I'm playing with you guys and we make a left turn and you go, I wasn't even prepped for this, give me a minute to think about it. Or the game master says, all right, guys, you tell me what you see, or you tell me what is on the horizon, or you tell me what the innkeeper is wearing, or you tell me what ancient text is written on the wall. And you sometimes you bring that up to some players, and it's like you you blew their mind. Like, wait, you're asking me what? Shouldn't you have that information? You know what I mean? And it's crazy how that works. Yeah, my chat, when my normal chat is not. Nope. Wait. It came up. Yay! Yay! All right, much better. Even though, so I'm going to apologize because I don't have the ability to highlight your comments. So I apologize for that. So okay. So there's a number of games here, and I would like to from some great creators, and I'd like to introduce some of them to you. Mike says, I'm typically an improvisational DM. I add or remove elements on the fly all the time. Exactly, and like I don't think I'm a brilliant person. Sometimes I think I've got the greatest idea, and the hive mind comes up with a better idea. Like my brain is, it's all right. It's passable. But if I'm surrounded by 4 other creative, brilliant, engaged people who have a better idea because of just them just talking back and forth, I'm gonna throw my idea out and go with something else. Yeah. Spook says the innkeeper's wearing an apron, just an apron. It has a flower on it, nothing underneath. The half orc baker is like, I like to serve sausage all the time. Turns around and just wearing an apron. Players are like, except for that one player that's like, oh yeah, I want to taste that. Anyway, I present to you Knave. This is the hardcover Knave book from Ben Milton, Questing Beast, of Questing Beast fame. There's his very famous logo on the back of this. This is the hardcover book, and something really cool. This is a bas relief cover, and it literally has a maze, a dungeon delve cover to it, and yeah, Mike says absolutely riff off the player's suggestion. Oh, I do that all the time. Like the players are making assumptions about the big bad's motivation, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh well, it was world domination, and they're going, the big bad was there was an ancient curse, and the big bad's really kind of the good guy, but driven mad by his own power, and we've got to save the bad guy because an ancient curse corrupted their mind. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm just smiling, I'm going, yeah, you may think that, but literally I'm taking I got my clicky pen going like, let me write this shit down. This is brilliant. What are these guys coming up with, right? And I think that's scary for GMs and players that, like you said, Mike, that don't want to take up the GM role because they think that they have to come up with everything, that they must know every single bit of the world, and it's got to be prepped 5 months ahead of time, and it's got to be written down. It's like, no, that shit can come in seconds. Right? And it's like, it's an impossibility for a GM to craft a script for a movie in one pass and make it brilliant. That's essentially what improvisation is for gaming. It's like, let's get 5 people together randomly to come up with a brilliant script that would make a great movie. It's like, no, that's impossible. That's why they have writers' rooms. There's people who make really good money with writers' rooms that used to be in the dozens. Now they're using like AI or whatever. It doesn't matter. And they're coming up with crap. And these people are professional writers, and they can't come up with good stuff. And you think you're going to come up with that on the fly? It's impossible. But it does mean that we need to know where the chunks are going when you're sliding it into the edible membrane, right? You're making that sausage. This book I think it's well over 400 D100 tables, and each entry in the table is literally 100 entries. So if you will roll percentile dice and you rolled an 82 or an 83 or 84, it has those specific things in it. This is a Knave second edition, and it is an old OSR, or what I think now they're calling like new SR game. And this book is like, oh, I need a random name. I need let me open to a random page. Relic Magic. This is the Relic Magic page, and right on this side of the page are two D100 tables, 200 entries for magic domains, symbols for magic. There's alchemy, D100 potions, and not just. Oops, I dropped my cards. Okay, not just D100 potions. I know it's really difficult for you to see this, but we have a page of D100 potions. But we're not done with that. We're going to have textures, tastes, colors, and ingredients. 400 entries for random potions. Maybe the player's going into an alchemist lab, and you need to fill the damn thing up. And you're like, I don't know what everything's here. Here, we've got colors and textures and ingredients and tastes and things like that. Oh, you want some? Let's get some random pages. Random equipment. D100 tools. But we're not done with that. We have D100 miscellaneous things. This book is like, it's small enough to stick in a pretty big pocket. And if you ever have the ability to get the physical or PDF version of this game, it is an excellent tool for anything on the fly. You want to come up with random spell names. You want to come up with random monster traits, random powers for them. It's so crazy. You want to make up NPC roles. We've got NPC table for archetypes, D100 table. Next to that, there's 400 entries for male names, female names, surnames 1, and a table for surnames 2. Personality traits, NPC details, professions, and goals. 400 entries. Now, when I say 400 entries, that's 100 times 100 times 100 times 100 if you were to randomly roll on each of these tables in order. It's crazy. This is excellent. This can be done on the fly within moments or as prep a few hours or weeks before the game. Mike says, exactly. Players live in the illusion that a GM has to prep everything. Prep is more like how video games load images. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, prep only what they can see, leave the rest in point form. Yep. Spook says, just the apron, my dude, as God intended. Yeah. Could you imagine this legendary cook? He's just like, I only wear an apron. That's it. They go around the corner and then they bring you this tasty meal, and the whole time you're thinking like, we're talking about like making a sausage, and the whole time, you're enjoying it, and somebody near you is just like, they're just turning their nose up like, dude, are you really going to eat that? And you're like, hell yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the edible membrane. To me, the casing is always the scariest part of the sausage. Yeah, because it's like, it's designed to hold all the ground up goodness. And somebody had to figure out how to make that membrane tough enough to hold all the stuff that's packed in it, but edible enough to like just get that pop. Yeah. Yeah, the first edition AD&D DMG is stacked with random tables like that. Hell, the back has random dungeon generation. Yep. First edition. Older. It's like, I don't know how to make a dungeon. Random tables. And I think there is a stigma attached to random tables. But the thing is, if I rolled on those random tables 3 months ago to make a dungeon, is there a difference between that and doing it within the next 5 minutes? And I would dare say no. Now, mind you, time does seem to add to it prep time. So the longer the time scale, sometimes the longer the time scale, the better we're able to rationalize two things put together. Like I rolled on a thing and I rolled feathers and cults, feathers, and mushrooms. And I was like, what's all this about? And right in 5 minutes, I might not put them together. But given a couple of hours, I might go, oh, well, maybe the cultists are known to wear the feathers of the cockatrice or something like that, and they use mushrooms that make their minds expand, but it also gives them like psychic awareness or whatever, right? Dude, the membrane is intestine. At least it used to be in ye olden days. Does anybody know what they make it out of today? I don't know. I don't know. And that's the question. Like, do we want to know the answer to that? I don't know. So along with Knave, we've got some excellent games here. I'm going to bring up two of these and then go into something else. So we have here, I don't know which edition of Index Card. This is my second edition book. I know there's like a master edition. Pretty thick book. Runehammer, ICRPG, an unsung hero within the new SR. Rules light, breaking things down. His latest excellent development is Crown and Skull, which I should have brought out that one. But this game again is packed with the back end of this book is absolutely overloaded with D100 tables. They're so small. The D100 tables are so small that it's crazy. But lots of mind fuel, ancient loot tables back to back to back, and the whole back of this book is just filled with it, so that if you want to create a sci-fi game, a fantasy game, I believe there's like a western game or also a post-apocalyptic setting, a lot of mind fuel, lots of loot that it calls it. Yeah. Mike says, yeah, cult, feathers, mushrooms, got it. Yeah, demonic cult of Zugdamoy. Yeah, and you found the discarded feathers of one of her rock servants. Done. Next challenge, please. Yeah, Mike is like, boom, mic drop, bam. I love it. And I mean, but that's the thing, right? Like sometimes we get these someone says a random thing and your brain goes, mind fuel. Oh, somebody just ignited that. And now you understand what it's about. But like me pulling shit out of my ass, Mike gets inspired by it. Right now I can see a whole adventure series based around this, where the players are like, how did cults get involved with like feathers and birds and avians and things like that? And he's like, nope, it's a little deeper than that, my dude. And how amazing that would be in a setting where it's like a red herring, but it's not, because you could kind of play with it. Like you're in the jungle and there's these tropical birds and the players are like, oh, okay, I get it. And then, then all of a sudden there's like cultists in the wild, and they're like, why are there cultists involved in this thing? And you're like, excellent. Spook says, a feather and a mushroom, a swan mayor is performing a sacred rite that requires privacy. She has to kill anyone who sees it outside of the order. Ooh. Yeah. Casings are made from gelatin, which is a byproduct of pork processing. Oh, cool. Literally learning about how sausage is made. Like I said, I was going to turn the sound off and just show like a processing plant with them making sausage in the background. And no, I don't think I'll be able to get away with that. So, Knave, ICRPG. Everybody knows what the cover of this is, right? This is Shadow Dark. Now, the Shadow Dark book, let's get the title up here. Am I having it faced correctly? There's on the binding, here's the Shadow Dark book. You've got the little ribbon to find your page. This is Shadow Dark, and it is it is a pocket-sized book. Let's hold it up next to Knave. Are they almost identical in size? Knave is my Knave is slightly bigger by millimeters, and Shadow Dark is another game, you know, in the new SR. This is an extreme hack of 5th edition. I don't even know why people even bother associating the two together. It is its own thing. It's like, thanks, gelatin, ground up bones, awesome. And then they fill it with pink slime and sawdust. Yep. Scraping it off the floor and then scooping it in and grinding it up with seasoning and everything. Yeah, jalapenos and cheddar cheese byproduct. But anyway, it's silly, but I love a built-in ribbon bookmark. I do too. I do too. And you know what? There's some books that have 2 bookmarks, and I don't know why that's awesome, but it's like when you see somebody put a bookmark in, it's like, yeah, you know how to read a book. You know exactly, because you know you're sitting on the shitter, right? And you're just like, you're pinching a loaf, you're squeezing one out, and you're like, oh man, I have to finish this later on, and you got to save your page real quick, and you're looking around for like, where's a note card? Where's a Magic the Gathering card I haven't used in like 8 months, or where? And then you take the ribbon and boom, pop it in the book, and you're done. Yeah, this book is filled with, I'm going to say, mind fuel as well. It's not just random, but it's random with, it is a, Kelsey has an extreme gift in simplifying the complex so that our brains fill in the simplified and we think it's complex. I know that's very strange to describe, but an example would be, let's get some random pages here. So this book, both the interior cover of the book is nothing but things that help you run the game, but even the back, all the way at the very last page of the back, and this is the hard part of the book. It's another, hey, here's some random things you can have. But if I roll to a random page and we've got tavern, right? So these are the tavern entries. And normally you say, oh, tavern entry, maybe it shows you who's there or there's drinks or whatever. But if you read any one of these randomly, it sets up a story or a situation or circumstance that requires your brain to answer it without her saying, you must answer this question. So an example would be, under tavern, a group of rival crawlers tell the PCs this is their tavern, right? So you get confronted by rival, dungeon crawlers. It was like, this is our tavern. Or 1d6 patrons, chaos cultists, skulk into the back room. Why did they go in the back room? Who are they? They're known as chaos cultists. Do the players know they're chaos cultists? Are the players nosy and want to find out? Every one of these entries is a question to be answered. Now, not every player is going to hang on to the hook of that. Some players are like, I don't care who walks in the back room in the kitchen of the tavern. Let's go back to, the blacksmith. But there might be one of those nosy players that's like, I want to skulk in the back and listen in with my, let me roll my 1d6, 1d6, what's the skill that was in first edition about listening to sounds or whatever. But anyway, here's another one. A cloaked figure jumps the bar and goes for the coin box. A woman picks up a chair and smashes it on a man's head. The brass wolf's nose imparts good luck, 5% for luck token. What the hell does that even mean? Is the brass wolf's nose a real person, or is it a brass wolf that's by the door? A weeping priestess wobbles over and collapses on a PC. A woman flawlessly lifts a coin purse from a patron's belt. And all of these things, all the entries in this book, taverns, mountains, glades, monsters, and all that, are questions that need to be answered in short form, and our brains just latch onto it. And it's like our brains can't let it go, like a dog with a bone. Excellent, excellent, excellent writing. Mike says, another riff on cult feather mushrooms. Okay, all right, you're fueled up. You've discovered the Feywild fairy ring of mushrooms that leads to the realm of the Harpy Queen. Enjoy. I like how you're just like, enjoy. Go ahead, run with it. I dare you. Right? But that's the thing. It's really cool to have these sausage making things. Now I'm going to bring up another book. We're going to get to random tables again, but the Forged in the Dark, Blades in the Dark style games. This has become, Blades in the Dark has become the poster child of narrative storytelling mixed result games like Daggerheart, where you're rolling the dice and it's like you succeed but you failed but and in addition to the thing you also, there's this other thing that happened, and this happens to be the poster child of that. Forged in the Dark is using Blades in the Dark to make other games. There's other games that aren't about neo-Victorian ghosts energies in a criminalized world, but this happens to be the one. And something that happens in Blades in the Dark is that Blades in the Dark is a no prep heist game, which means characters run around with gear, but you don't know what gear you have. You basically can decide before you start on your heist, am I lightly encumbered, medium, or heavily encumbered? That's it. You don't know, do you have a knife on you, or rope, or coin to bribe someone, or a disguise, or forged documents, or a secret potion or acid? I don't know. Depends on your loadout, right? And you know, if you're lightly, I'm just making this up off the top of my head, if you're lightly encumbered and that means you only can carry 3 things, when you say you have a dagger, that takes up one of your slots. But prior to that, none of us knew you had a dagger in your belt pocket until you said you had it. Quantum Ogre, right? It's the I have a thing, but I'm going to pull it out when I need it. And we see this in television and movies all the time. An action movie where our hero gets blasted in the chest with a shotgun. I'm looking at you, I was about to say Die Hard, Lethal Weapon movies, and our hero goes flying through a glass window of a small business in the middle of the night, and we think, oh no, our hero is dead, except he wakes up and comes to because he put on a bulletproof vest. Did we ever... Does our main character actually wear a bulletproof vest? Well, it just so happens in this one scene, they did have a bulletproof vest on. And we're the better for it. And a little bit like timing, right? But that's how that kind of thing works. Also, because this is a no prep game, the game assumes the players are professionals and have already made plans for the heist. And what happens is there's a feature in here which is a flashback. So instead of doing the 45-minute to an hour and a half bullshit, how are we going to figure out how to do the thing for the heist in the game, and we waste a lot of time, this game says, no. Let's not waste our time. Let's get right in the middle of the heist. And when you go up to the guard that's at the guard tower, let's flash back to when you bribed or seduced or blackmailed or threatened that guard, so that if you succeed or fail in this die roll, the guard sees you, puts his head down, puts the keys on the table, and walks away. And it's like, well, when did that happen? Well, let's flash back to that scene, you know? Yeah. Mike says, Destiny does that kind of stuff with plot points. Players can insert moments like that. Exactly. And mind you, the flashback, plot point, we already prepped kind of thing is a sausage making thing that is technically just a die roll. It's just a skill check. I mean, you could make a skill check immediately, like I go up to the guard and then I intimidate the guard or threaten the guard or try to seduce the guard. But isn't it more fun if you flash back 3 days prior to that you blackmailed them, or you paid off their debt to a crime lord, or you're going to expose their very embarrassing collection of, little pink unicorns or something to the, you know what I mean? Like, it's those are the fun moments. And all it took is just adjusting our mindset to go, we don't know what we did to plan for this heist, but we sure can flash back to the moments that we did that was really cool, right? And then someone goes, maybe I was in the building prior to this and I slipped a weapon into the potted plant that's at the corner of the hallway. And everyone goes, that's really cool. Spook says, I'm getting bangers and mash after this. That's funny. That's cool. It's funny. Yeah, Mike says, and there's the rub. Players will gladly do momentary world building during play, but don't want the work of writing away from the table. Yeah, right. Like in the moment you go, oh, can I be a badass and do something really cool and flash back or say that, like, of course I brought a, I don't know, collapsible ladder with me, or of course I had a specially designed mask in my back pocket that I'm going to put over my face that makes me look exactly like the noble that we're going to sneak into. It's those kind of things that make you seem cool in the moment that players will be like, yeah. But it's like, you could have also been the game master. And here's the rub with Blades in the Dark. As the game master, you don't know these things are going to come up yet. That's the rub. The sausage making, right? You don't know what's getting extruded out until it happens at that moment. And you don't know what flashback the players might engage in. You don't know what kind of gear they're going to pull out of their back pocket and say I had with them. You don't know these things, but the mechanism in the game says, you know what? If they make a mixed result, you get to complicate their lives. You get to come up with these complications. They tried to do a flashback, but there's a complication. Is an old rival hired by the noble to protect their goods, and now this rival confronts the player characters, and the rivals, maybe there was some romantic interest or something, but at the same time they've been hired by the noble to stop the players, but they're actually fans of the players, and what decision do they make? And you didn't know that was going to come up until the thing happens. So Blades in the Dark, excellent rewiring of the mind in terms of having a game start in the middle of the action and then go backwards, like classic heist movies, or there's a television show called Leverage that literally was about flashbacks, and go back and tell a great story by going, I didn't think about that, but it would really be cool if I inserted this, 3 hours beforehand, and now it comes up. So great book, great concept for that. Spooker says, I like things like the flashback system because they bring the players into the story on a lot more meaningful way. And like Daggerheart that's released now, I think it's making new players reflect back, and they're going, there's a bunch of us that are polygamists that are raising our hands like, dude, this existed 10 years ago. Yeah, Spook says Leverage was so good. Yeah, it's like they, they raised their hand. It's those of us going, that's not new. We love that. Like those of us that appreciate Daggerheart existing. There's many of us going, yeah, that's not a new thing. That's already existed, and other people have done it, dare I say, better and in a more formalized method. Guys, when you were rolling at D20 in your Dungeons and Dragons game, you could have been doing this the entire time. And it's letting us see how the mechanisms work behind the scenes, right? Now, this is from Raging Swan. This big honking thing is, the Dread Thingonomicon. This book is nothing but random tables. This book is filled with nothing but random tables. If I'm not mistaken, because I came into this much later, that the Dread Thingonomicon that I have right here in my book, and let's see if I can hold this up with another hand, and another book called GM Miscellany. Oh, 50% chance of getting that right. This is GM Miscellany. It's got a red cover on it, and I believe this was made way back in ye old Google Plus days, and a blog post where this individual very consistently, very quickly kept creating more and more random things for your classic dungeon crawling, Dungeons and Dragons. Both of these books are agnostic, so you don't need to have a specific game system. And this person put together all of their blog posts, all of their things on Google Plus, all of their stuff that they put out, and put it into a book form of nothing but random tables for everything. And of all things in these books, you have things like an ancient necropolis, or crypts and catacombs, bandits and brigands, cultist lairs. There's even a thing in here to see if I can remind it. Everything you would ever find in a goblin lair. Henchmen, hill giant steading. There's like 7 pages of just random hill giant stuff, right? And this is just in the intro. These books, the Dread Thingonomicon is great. Let me read an entry here. Customizing wondrous items. That's pretty let's go to something different. Things in a necromancer's sanctum. Several beakers stand on the shelf above the table. Each is full of a different kind of dark, sticky, and noxious fluid. Or a fireplace pierces one wall. Deep soot and ash lie within. Even a cursory examination of the pile turns up fragments of bone. Pickled and preserved things. Horrible sensations. Horrible sounds. It's crazy. And again, gives you what you need. You can prep this months ahead, weeks ahead, or literally go, I don't know what's in the apothecary's back room, but we're sure going to look it up. You go to a goblin's lair, nobody really knows what's in a goblin. I mean, but no. We've got hundreds of entries for things like that. All right. We're getting to the end here, because I know Mike says the hot start, typically starts like, you're probably wondering how we got here. Let's start from the beginning. Flashback starts. Yep. Yeah, for leverage. Yeah. That's so common. And that start automatically puts a question in your head. We're here, and usually it's a little bit of a bizarre thing, like maybe everyone's stuck inside of a safe, or everyone is like standing waist deep in mud, or everyone's wearing like strange clothing, like someone's wearing like a clown outfit and somebody else is wearing like a gorilla mascot outfit or something. And it's like, you're probably wondering what happened here, and then you flash back, right? And a little bit of there's a little bit of railroading going on, self-railroading, that if players notice it, it could rub them the wrong way. But if you don't tell them it's happening, they will embrace it. And that is, if you're in a situation now and you flash back, you're going to flash back to explain why you're the way you are now. So in a way, when you do the flashback, you're going to railroad the story to explain what the hell is happening at this very moment. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of a self-railroad. Like, I'm going to explain why I'm here. Not going like, well, this is stupid. What's in the goblin lair? Goblins. Free plot hook. Boom. All right, so we have a game here. It's not very popular. Small game. I really love it. From Imagining Games. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, too bright. I got my light on the camera. Too bright. Anyway, this is called Dream Chaser. And Dream Chaser has something known as a dream map. Now, this game was not built or advertised as what I'm about to tell you, but I think it's a brilliant game. Nonetheless, it's not in production anymore. When did it come out? I backed the Kickstarter, and it was 2017. So it's got some age on it. It's got at least 8 years plus on this game, development and everything. It's called Dream Chaser. This, if you want to play a dream-inspired game, this is it. So when you make a character, it can fit into any genre. And you may say, well, how do you have a game? If you have a game that's in someone's dreams, like I said, this game was not advertised this way. If you have a game, I'm going to read that in a minute. If you have a game that's built on someone's dreams, then isn't that just pure chaos because anything can happen? And here's the deal. This game suggests to you to do something called dream mapping. And basically you ask the players, what kind of role do you want to play in a session? Don't worry about the rules. I want to know what kind of role do you want? And you can make it up and someone can say, well, I'd like to be a protector. I like to protect innocent people. You write that down. I don't think these are 3x5s. I think these are 5x8s. But anyway, you get yourself some 3x5 cards. Remember back in ye olden days where we used to do ink pens and paper? Well, you get these cards and you hand them out to people and you say, what would you like to see in the game? And the dream mapping is, what kind of character do you want to play? Like, what is your role? I want to be a protector. I want to be someone that's like aggressive. They fight enemies. I want to be someone who leads the innocent. I want to be a person who is a great inventor and constructs things or whatever. And you go, okay, write that down. And then you say, well, what cool scenes would you like to see yourself in? I'd like to fight an enemy, a duel on the top of a cliff with a thunderstorm in the background. Write that down. Hey, I'd like to bake a meal for a family and, have stories told and songs sung around the table. And you write that down. And then after you write all that down, guess what you do? You shuffle it together. You kind of put it into like a bit of an order. And when need be, you draw that card out for yourself, whether you do it openly or behind the scenes. And you have railroaded scenes for your game. And it could be anything. And it's like, it's the sausage being made. It's like, well, why are we fighting? Why is that character having a duel on top of a cliff? Because you wrote the damn thing down. That's what you wanted to see. That's what you wanted to have. You wanted to lead the innocent into a new realm. So I put innocent people into the game. And that's the thing. That's how this game operates. And it puts it right in front of the players' faces. Yeah, you know why you like this adventure? Because I literally put in the thing that you wanted. Mike says, opening image. Guy in chicken suit is spraying down paintings in a museum with small machine gun fire. Yeah, it's been a pretty weird day. Let's go back. Right, exactly. What's another one here? What's in the goblin lair? Flashback. A small goblin child stands in horror, holding their stuffed rat toy. In slow motion, Gygaxian adventurers are in full murder hobo mode. Flash forward. Yep. And for some reason I can just picture it with a small tear coming down the goblin child's face, and like there's like heat waves of fire as the Gygaxian adventurers in full murder hobo. You just see like out of focus like goblins flying through the air and their body parts, and the small child is like, no. Flashback. Yep. Then flash forward to the players drinking their grog at the tavern. Yeah, we brought back a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. A goblin warlord stands atop a hill, leading a massive goblin force. He looks down, touches a stuffed rat toy on his hip, then sounds the attack. Slow clap on that one. Yeah, I love it. I didn't do anything that legendary, but I did something like that. For those who don't know, in Dungeons & Dragons, there were these magic items. There was like a crown you could wear that would increase your intelligence. There was a grimoire or a manual that would increase your intelligence. And there were ion stones. Don't know how to pronounce it. I am putting the improper emphasis on the incorrect syllable. So anyway, there are these stones that would float around your head that increase your intelligence. And I had a bunch of goblinoids and ogres and things like that. Like, it wasn't a bunch of them. They each were part of their group and they got very intelligent. And they brought their dead young and pregnant wives and children and dumped them into the seat of a council and got the local Knight's Order banished. Because the people actually saw what the Knight's Order was doing and murdering these like women and children, and the people were just like, they were like taken aback and stuff. And the Knight's Order was like, but you told us to do that, They're evil. And you know, of course, the ogre who's like super brilliant now after reading this book under his arm is like, let me beseech all of you, the blah blah blah. Yeah, and it was the beginning of the story, and it was this whole thing about this knight's order like turned really evil. They were all pissed off. Yeah. Thousands of goblins descend on the human town. Yeah. Plot twist, you rescue the goblin kid and bring it back to town. Now the townspeople send the army after you, and the goblin horde goes out to track you down too. You're like, give us back our kid. You're using them as a prop for your political machinations. Anyway, pretty fun stuff. Lastly, two big things. This one is an Organic Towns book. Really cool. It's from Headless Hydra Press. Let's see, Organic. There we go. Organic Towns. Headless Hydra Press. Every single 2-page spread in this book is a random town. Not every one of them. It's like 95%. And each one of them, dry docks. Yeah, it starts the Wolf and Cub story. Taking care of the small goblin kid. Yeah. And the player's like a badass teaching the goblin kid with their little rat toy. And then that little goblin kid turn out to be like a badass warlock, druid, monk, sorcerers, whatever in the future. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Organic Towns, every single page in here has our random tables, and the random tables are literally divided by level 1, 2, and 3. So you have like, so you have your more mundane entries, and then you have your more exotic entries. And because they're divided that way, it gives you the die that you can roll, so you don't go beyond the entry. And within each of these entries, there's even more randomness inside of each entry. And it's every single thing for like a city. This is a farm, and it's a 2-page spread. And I love, here's a gate, city gate. There is a guardhouse, and it goes on and on. Alphabetical order, 2-page spreads, easy to mark off. Organic Towns from Headless Hydra Press. I should have put these in the doobly-doo, but I just had to bring out some books. Cobalt Press. Let's see. Cobalt Press. Cities and Towns. Nothing but random tables to create random cities and towns. There are more mundane tables. There's name tables for like creating your own cults and sewer systems and nobles and all that kind of stuff. It's from Cobalt Press. Some random things in here. There's monsters. Wow, every single thing I'm turning to is different. This is a page of city rulers, and it has titles like mages, feudal lords, mayors, oligarchs, priesthoods, and theocracy. City officials like chamberlain, chancellor, chief justice, lord of the treasury, watch commander, alternate titles for those individuals. And then at the end of each of these chapters, there are random tables, again, on the fly. So all your tables are different. I see you, Mike. On the fly, so your tables are different. Again, you could do them within seconds, or you could prep them up. Mike says, well, unless it's organic, free range, and gluten-free, hipsters won't touch that book with a 10-foot mustard yellow beanie. Yep, gotta have the beanie, even in the middle of the summer. Yeah, Organic Towns. All right, last books. I would say almost has become the nominal, this individual has become almost the nominal king of the mind fuel, and that is Kevin Crawford. Damn. I have Worlds Without Number, Stars Without Number in hand. I also have Cities Without Number, and I believe there's in development, if it's not already released, I think there's a like Ashes Without Number or Dust Without Number, which is like a post-apocalyptic book. But anyway, let me stick with Stars Without Number because it's a little thinner. Stars Without Number, Kevin Crawford's books are nothing but mind fuel. And there's something in here, let's see if I can find, I've got the PDF, but I'm not going to do it. Here, Perfect. There's something called world tags. He's for Worlds Without Number, which is more fantasy, and Stars Without Number, which of course is science fiction. They have something called world tags. I know it's difficult for you to see this, but there's a D100 table of 100 world tags. And the idea, each one of these 100 tags has a descriptor for it. Let's pick one. Bubble cities. Whether due to a lack of atmosphere or an uninhabited climate, the world's cities exist within domes or pressurized buildings. In such sealed environments, techniques of surveillance and control can grow baroque and extreme. And each of these, it's 100 of them, and each of these has a tag and explains what that tag is. And what you do is you take two random ones and combine them together. So you have 100, I guess would be 100 times 99, because you already picked one and you got to remove that out the choice. So it's 100 times 99 options to create random worlds in your setting. And this is just one of hundreds of tables and random selection and all these kind of things. And what's really cool is he has these 2-page spreads where you take your classic 6 dice, D4 through D20. You take one of each, D4, D6, D8, D10. You take all of them. Let me see if I can get some ASMR in here. You roll that together, and when you do that, each one, what the heck just came up? Don't restart on me right now. Each one then represents something on a table that's all related. So you basically go on a D4, you write that down. D6, you write that down. D8, blah, blah. It's great. Mike says, I'm seriously going to write up that Goblin Warlord. What a great background, too. And that was just like kind of random, like, what's the Goblin thing about, right? But listen, within less than a half an hour, right, from me bullshitting and literally interrupting what you guys have created, we came up with a feather cult with using mushrooms. We have a great Goblin Warlord with an excellent background that if that background is revealed through the course of play, might make the players change their mind about hating this Goblin Warlord, or just coming up with a new, like, can you imagine all the different attitudes and personalities and political points of view that would have happened with this event that happened? You know, for me, the Knights Order that got exiled because they tried to slay all the goblins, and now that Knights Order is out there in the wild, which they're more like Ranger druids now. And are they trying to make amends? Are they defending the goblin hordes out there, even though the goblin hordes hate them so much for what they've done, but they feel guilty for it? I mean, you know what I mean? You could come up with so many different stories. The villagers that are secretly harboring and protecting the goblins, even though they pretend like they hate them, but literally, like, the goblins are like living in their like storage rooms. They're like trading them with ale and things like that because they're not really that bad, you know. And then the some of the goblins that are still pissed off at the elven human lands and whatnot. I mean, there's so many stories you could tell. It's really cool. So, making the sausage. I'm going to end this conversation about how the sausage is made in the fact that it can be scary, like Mike brought up before, about players not wanting to be the game master, dungeon master, storyteller, flame tender, warden in these games. And it's because, yeah, behind the scenes, it's a little bit chaotic. And you might have to like hold on to the threads, but don't hold on too tight. It's not about you. It's about what's best for the game, what's best for the players, and listening to the players and what they have to say. And how comfortable are the players in terms of introducing new elements? Like, if you ask the players what the name of the blacksmith is, are they going to be immature dumbasses and come up with a dumb name? Or are they like really into it? Like, oh, the blacksmith's name is Adronius, and Adronius is also my uncle. And it's like, oh, because I had a player that used to do that. Like, it wasn't just that they would introduce elements, they would introduce personal elements. My character grew up with that NPC. Oh, really? Oh, clicky pen, note card. Let me write that down, right? My clicky pen's not clicking as fast as my thumb. But you get the point, right? Like when we talk about introducing player background, how can we tie in these threads? Sometimes it's just a little bit of an iceberg, right? Like maybe that NPC that they met is a long lost relative. Maybe the person that they come across is an old love that, where that the romance gets rekindled, or they meet their mentor, or there was a person that they studied with that was a rival and they hate that person today, even though the player characters are badass and the NPCs are nobody, but the NPC is like, I hate you, fold arms, pouty lip, right? And it's introducing like, oh, it's not just the Goblin Warlord. It's the Goblin Warlord you saw as a child from across a battlefield, and now both of you are 20, 30, 50 years older, and you're like, yeah, I remember you, and is there animosity? Is there the same relationship anymore? And that's how you start to turn things in. When you're the wizard and there's magic power, it's not just you're fighting another cultist. You're fighting someone that failed out of your wizard school and they turn their back on the wizardry or something. It's easy to do with warriors. I've come across, I was across the battlefield from this person 5 times before. We've never met personally, but we've seen each other's tactics or something. And I know if we confront each other for a 6th time, I know what their banner is, and I know their tactics, and I know what they're willing to do to win or something. And it's incorporating those things on the fly, whether it's within seconds or minutes or hours or days, and understanding for players to go, it's an illusion. It is the idea of like a wizard or a magician or a stage magician that does sleight of hand. It's like it is incorporating. I see what you here, Mike. It's incorporating like, yes, we didn't come up with this 5 seconds earlier, but the moment we said it, it exists. It is the equivalent of the purple lightsaber in a Star Wars movie that did not exist before, but it exists now, and you can make all kinds of rationalizations, but guess what? The creator put it in there, so I guess it's canon now. And it's the same thing for tabletop role-playing games. Creatives are never done. They only meet deadlines. And the same thing can be said for tabletop role-playing games, where we're never done creating or filling a world. We're just adding more spice and flavor to get it perfect. And we're never done cooking that meal. Mike says, guys, we can't kill the guard. He's my wife's cousin. She'll skin me alive. Yep. Yep. And how interesting is that, right? Like that situation where you're going, wait, what? Wait, okay, so wait, my wife's cut. Okay, but they know you. But then the guard, the whole time the guard's like, sipping the coffee. Ooh, burn my lip. Ooh, ow. Right? And the players are around the corner with all their weapons out. They're like energies, like, scintillating energies going up and down the blades. And they're like getting ready to kill it. And one of the PCs is like looking around the corner like, guys, we can't. No, don't do that. Very cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, I thought we'd have to have fun with some sausage. And we didn't get too dirty. I thought we would go down a dirty, dark path with this one, but no, we understand that sometimes seeing how it's made maybe lets you into a little bit too much information, but understand that it's always happening behind the in the background, and just shrug your shoulders and go, well, how many times has a game master, dungeon master been stuck with this one thing? There's that one player that always asks you what the name of the NPC is, and they want to know the names of all the NPCs. And what happens? We have 0 names prepped. Even though this happens so often, I do that so many times. I will sit down and start writing notes and go like, okay, let's see. Let me let's see, science fiction, or just captain of the ship. All right, okay, right. Okay, let's see. Clicky. Okay, yeah. There's okay, the quartermaster. Okay. Oh yeah, I'll have a bar or something. They have like virtual reality, and then I'll go back in my notes and go, what are their names? Captain. I don't know. Okay, second in command, engineer, and that's just like no names come to mind at all. It's like, and then you get those dumb, cynical names that if you write them down and you've never said them out loud, and when you say them out loud, and the person going, so his name is Joseph. No, it's not Joseph. It's Joseph, and it's like, no, but you wrote down that looks like Joseph. And it's like, oh, I can't believe I did that. You know, or you take a name from pop culture, or you take a name and everyone starts giggling and you're like, what? And then you realize, oh, I can't believe I named him Sphincter. You know what I mean? Like, it's little things like that. I wrote it down. I didn't even say it out loud, right? That happens all the time. So anyway, guys, I thought I had some fun and and some strangeness with the sausage making. I think I'm going to, let's see. Spook says my players will not give a rat's fart about any PC for 6 games. Damn. Then boom, they want every name of every person in town at once. Yep. Hey, you can prep all the note cards you want for town number 1. They'll ignore all of that, and when they visit town number 2 that you didn't have prepped beforehand because you didn't think they'd make that left turn, yeah, Spook, they want to know everybody. Well, what's their favorite meal? I think I'm going to cook them a meal, and you're just like, slap forehead. What? Seriously? Like, well, what's in their pockets? I don't know. I mean, they have to have a scar or a birthmark or something. Seriously, dude? Seriously, you're asking me if they have a birthmark? What? I don't know. It's shaped like, I don't know, the state of Idaho. It's like, oh, maybe they're into potatoes, and you're just sitting here like shaking your head like, seriously? Are we seriously oh my god. Yeah. Name prep, be more imaginative than Forgotten Realms. Oh my god. Yeah, because hey, listen, some of these name generators, you really don't want to use the names in them. Maybe better to make like thematic names, like, hey, steal from Conan. You know, Conan did this bullshit all the time, and I mean, I'm talking about the actual stories of Conan and Hyperborea and all that kind of stuff. Conan stole all the cultures and names and things like that from real world. Oh, we're going to visit not Italy. We're going to visit not Middle Eastern Persia or something. We're going to visit not Rome or not France. You know what I mean? We're going to visit not deepest Africa. You know, and you know, that's how all the places in the Conan stories were written. Doesn't mean we can't do it. Yes, they have a birthmark. It looks like the displays middle finger. Yeah, do the slow motion thing. Yeah, displays middle finger. Yeah, Spook. Yeah, love it. Oh man, Shai says they just went through some book of European names from the olden days. Norse names, Slavic names. Sure did. Yep, the Conan books. The Conan writer was just like, well, I'm not Worldbuild. Why am I going to rack my brain with that? Open up book of Nordic history. Got that in front of me. Looks Nordic. I'm gonna steal that name, right? Like, and the Conan series, people love them. I'm not putting it down. I'm just going like, sometimes we don't need to be as creative as we think we need to be. Yeah, the Conan universe was full of fake real world stuff. Yep. The entire Conan. If you go back to let's see. I'm gonna see if Conan. Hyperborea created from real world cultures? Question mark. Answer to my question: Conan Hyperborea created from real world cultures? Question mark. And an AI system, mind you, this could be wrong, comes back, says, yes, the fictional setting of Conan the Barbarian, known as the Hyborian Age, draws heavily on real-world historical eras and cultures. Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan, was an avid reader of history and incorporated elements from ancient and medieval civilizations to create the world of Conan. He aimed to evoke a sense of history without being strictly bound by its details. And to be honest with you, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I brought it up because it's shorthand It's very easy shorthand. Here are some examples of Hyborian age cultures and their possible real-world counterparts based on the provided search results. And there's links to these. Hyperborea influenced by medieval Rus or Russia, particularly Novgorod. Aquilonia inspired by medieval France. Stygia based on Bronze Age Egypt. Ktai based on ancient China. Samaria inspired by Gaelic Ireland and Scotland. Argos was merchant-ruled Italy. Nordheim was Viking Age Denmark or Norway. Hyrcania, a combination of Mongolia and Scythia. Iranistan is the Caliphate of Iran. He literally called it Iranistan. Turan is from Turkey, and Shem from Canaan and Assyria and Arabia. And those are just little examples, right? And you know, shorthand. Like, okay, maybe you don't want to explain all the bullshit in your world, but you're like, guess what? It's like ancient Rome. And PCs go, got it. Okay, I get it. And all the names end with IUS, like Gregonius and Briagrius and Thalanigrius, whatever. I don't know how to spell any of those, but right, yeah. I gave my players, you know, submit a list of random names. I use them as we go. Exactly. Oh, you meant Forgotten Realms. Oh, says I thought the Hyborian Age in Conan was based on an imitation of a prehistoric world long before the rise of European nation states. That I don't know. Like, is it canon that Conan is like our pre-age era? I'm not sure. It sounds cool. I know the Melibonians from the Elric series was that. Yeah, like Atlantis and stuff. Damn, I guess I got that wrong. Maybe I should actually read the damn books. I haven't read them either. Yeah, so I have my players submit a list of random names. I use them as we go. Yeah, I mean, you could throw this stuff on the players, right? It's like, tell the players, like, listen, come with some names, come with some, you know, random jobs or professions or something for some NPCs. Please help me world build. Hey, where's your character from? My character's from the North. Great. Tell me what the North is like. Show me how the sausage is made, right? Tell me your character's an assassin. Is there an assassin's guild? You tell me what that assassin's guild is like. And then the players go, well, my character was a dot and they were exiled, but there's enemies and stuff. You go, thank you. Now it exists. Now it's in the world. It's canon. And the player might be like, really? Sweet. You know, it's like, I didn't come up with an assassin. Those pesky assassins, that's your fault, not mine. You decided to make a warlock. I didn't make a warlock. You did. So guess what? Now it's canon. Now the warlock patron is everywhere and is a real being that's a crime lord or something like that. And the PC is like, cool, you know? That's, you know, sometimes it's really cool to have the sausage making in the background. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for tolerating the fact that I couldn't highlight your comments here. My chat overlay is not working at all, and it won't let me, unless I do the entire stream, it won't refresh the entire stream. It won't let it come back. I'd have to reload the whole page, and I'm afraid I get knocked out. But that being said, guys, thank you very much for bringing your brilliance and enjoying the joke with me a little bit, like how the sausage is made. You know, I just wanted to have some fun with it. But to be honest with you, I think sometimes if we start to get in some arguments, disagreements, how somebody likes or dislikes something, maybe this is something we can insert in there. Maybe this is a sausage we can slide into the bun of the conversation with some toppings of maybe you just don't like that thing because you know how it's done in the background. You know, and maybe the player's like, yeah, because I didn't realize, like, you know, when you convert the number to this thing, that's how it's done and blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe that's the reason why I don't like, you know, X. You know, maybe that's the reason why every time we roll the dice to do Y, I'm not really interested in that part. You know what I mean? Shai says, maybe I should make my own sausage based on what I thought the Conan world was like. Yeah, exactly. Happy Vice Friday. Absolutely. Guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. I know we always go well over an hour, but whatever. It's the channel. YouTube, deal with it. Guys, have a great one. I'll see you later. Peace and tranquility. Bye.